Happy
Good,
Monday. Good morning, Butch.
good morning, Sergey. It's great to see your face.
Always.
All right.
I look at myself and I'm like, oh, you're alive. That's great. Well, let's go do something useful. Let's go and review AI and QA newsletter issue number 24. That's what we're gonna be doing here. Good morning, everybody.
Good
Or
morning.
whatever, if you're watching this later. We're gonna pretend you're watching it right now. So good morning,
It's good
everybody.
morning or good evening, wherever this finds you.
That's 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 his line, not mine. Mine is like good morning or whatever. That's my line. But I hope that you're in the same good mood as me. I woke up, read through a few articles, found some interesting thoughts. I think I kind of see what the theme of today's newsletter is gonna be.
Yeah.
The hands, manual testing. That's what we're.
There were a lot of articles that talked about that for sure. So
But and then you put them at the end, so that's why I was like, wait, are we gonna be talking about like manual testing? Because if yes, I'm up for it. I'm definitely up to talk about anything. But so, on a serious note, AI and QA, there are newsletters, and you can always find a new newsletter, a fresh newsletter, every Monday in your email inbox if you subscribe. How to subscribe? You go to AI in QA and click subscribe. There's also an opportunity to ask a question, which we 100% will address, unless it's just like threats. Then no, we skip them. But we acknowledge that we received them though. And
that's right.
also, you will find the list of all newsletters. And the cool thing is that, if you're new to AI in QA or AI in general or QA in general, we like this website AI in QA is building this massive, source of information for and a lot of opinions. That's also what matters, I think.
Oh
And
yeah.
Butch is doing his best to make sure that he gets only good opinions, sometimes instead of hot take, because today hot take was just nuts. That's the only source where you don't need to agree with the person.
That's not true. There's other things that I throw in there that I don't agree with that are not hot takes.
I remember you did the TDD or something,
I mean,
and
there's still some other things, like even today, there are certain things where, like, I wouldn't approach it this way, but there's some good ideas here that should be considered depending on what you're looking at. So that's the lens at which I view these things, at which I curate these items. Is will it be helpful for me either to refine an opinion that this is the way to do it, or maybe this is not the way to do it, even though you're talking about it,
right.
and or just questions you should be forming your own opinions on and being able to understand why you formed that opinion.
Okay. Do you want to start with your take? I think this is how we need
Let's
to
do it.
start every newsletter because that's in the beginning. I saw a
It
graph
is.
and I was like, "Oh, I want him to tell me what it is. I'm not gonna read it."
All right. So I'll give you the 2 minute overview. I watched a video from Potato. This is a developer that works at Cursor. Her name is Lauren, but her code name is Potato, which is just a great name, in my opinion. And she had about an hour long talk that I watched on X, and she shared a few interesting things. So she's working on Grokbot, and she has shifted from being in the loop coding to being out of the loop coding, meaning she can spin up a bunch of agents, get some work done, and produce high quality work. I think Grokbot is an example. This is something that got released last week and made a lot of noise in the market. And her main, like one of her main points where she spent a lot of time was the way she's able to build trust to build this great software is but comes down to utilizing verifications, which in testing words, this is a check. That's what it is. You know, testing versus checking. This is a verification. You know, same thing. It is a check that can get run automatically by an agent. What was really cool, why I liked it, is she actually provided a create verification skill, and you can run the skill in your repo and generate a new skill, which is verify product name, basically. And what this skill will do is it will go understand the code base. In my case, it actually ran the code base and it read the README and basically spun up the code base in a way I'd never done it before. I'd always use Docker Compose to spin up my environment. This went and spun up a Postgres database and just ran it with the Ruby commands in the example I was testing in. Ran it. It built a bunch of verifications for 6 out of 13 identified areas. I think if I look at the app, I'd say there's probably closer to 16 or so. So I missed a few, but it basically said, these things are not done. And if there's anything else, you let me know. You point it at it and it will go create verifications. So this could be database checks, curl request. It could be basically scripting out to go click through the Playwright UI, and it will save off artifacts, so screenshots and whatnot. So the idea is you create this verification skill, and this is how, basically all of your verifications should pass once, an agent is done doing its work. So I included this mainly for those testers that maybe haven't dove into the AI coding side of things. You need to know how these things work so you can have intelligent conversations with your employees, or bring something like this to your team and you can be like, well, that guy knows what he's doing. Is this a little scary because it takes away some of our responsibility? Maybe, but it's actually the right move, I think, because we're shortening the feedback loop on, is this working or is it not? The way I see this is, if you're working in a organization and you've ever received a ticket that comes to you, you go to click on the URL to test it, and 3 clicks in, the site blows up, or you get 500 error on the page. We've all been there. We know what developer did it to. 9 times out of 10. This kind of stuff should prevent a lot of that stuff. But on top of that, this is also kind of in that AI loop, giving our AIs and our LLMs ways to verify that we didn't change anything, that we didn't break anything. So, what questions do you have, Sergey?
I don't have no questions.
Are you going to go use this create verification skill in a repo?
No, I'm gonna be using the manual testing to verify everything until I die.
Okay, that is a hot take right there.
But I really want to talk about the hot take. No, thank you so much for your take. But I think it just the key, everything what you talked about, it obviously makes sense. And the truth is yeah, we kind of give more power, but also shorten the feedback loop. It's all great. But all I was thinking is well, that's what Stefano Rinaldi said in his post, that the manual work is gonna be what is exactly he says, that AI agents can act like human testers and remove the QA bottleneck. That was his take. And so basically, well, everything was already said. He just expanded on it, providing his argument. His supporting argument is that they, meaning AI agents, can navigate the product, check specific scenarios, and adapt if a button changes position on the screen. even the examples are like honestly basic, obviously. But so yeah, by letting AI handle this complex testing, again, in the argument, it was if a button changes position on the screen, product teams can completely remove the QA bottleneck. But yeah, so the whole idea that AI will replace QA, it's just borderline
This guy is
crazy.
100%. He's put in all his chips and he said, "I'm all in on this."
Yeah, so if it was 2020, he well, pulled his 401k and put on GameStop stock. That was going on. So I think he did that, and now he was like, you know what? Let me just say things on internet. I love internet for that. Thank you so much for including this. But obviously, I do not agree for many reasons. With the whole like removing some bottlenecks with AI, yes. Replacing testers with AI is something I don't agree. And I have a bunch of counter arguments actually in the newsletter itself. So I don't even need to express anything. And everybody who's watching this or reading the newsletter, all you need to do is just go to next articles, because next articles are talking about how manual testing is going to survive. We're going to move there in a second. But do you want to say anything?
I do. I do.
I know.
Who's going to tell this guy that AI can also automate all the product work away?
Well,
Maybe that needs to be the next post from you, Sergey.
no,
Just copy this and paste it, and anywhere where it's testing, it's gathering requirements, it's building a survey to get information from users. It's AI can make decisions about how things should look on a screen. It can make decisions around what order in which information should be collected on a survey or on an input box. Like, AI can do a lot of things. Should it be making all those decisions for you is the question. In the end, I'll leave it with this. If you are working as a tester in a startup, I think about where we were previously.
Okay,
Right?
yeah,
We worked
yeah.
in payments, which is pretty important to get right at
Yes.
a startup level, right? And we built a lot of test automation. I think they don't have like a full-time tester now, but they do have somebody there that has a testing mindset that is helping push things along. But if you're building systems that other businesses rely on, and you're making a lot of changes to those systems, it's probably worth having a tester in place. If you have lots of business and you want to have high quality standards. If you are a brand new startup, you have no revenue or not much revenue, and your customers are end users, like, you could probably get away without having a tester and still be a successful company. I hear you say that, Sergey, but I mean,
For a little
the
bit,
end,
you
right,
will
in
need
the
a
end,
tester eventually.
you should, if you plan to have a higher quality product, or if you want to know what risks exist before your customers find them, right? But I say that to say, like, if you are early stage startup and you don't have product market fit, you might be over optimizing if you have a tester in place. If you have product market fit and you are growing and you're building complex software that businesses are going to rely on to run their, do their work, probably important to have a tester. All right, I'll leave it at that. Where you want to shift to?
Well, since we're on a topic, Keith Burnham, he said that I don't see manual testing existing in a few years. And I was like, okay, let's go another one. But then he added, at least now as we know it today. And basically, this was a good shift from the hot take, which it is a hot take because it is very polar. A person saying, we don't need testers. And Keith is just saying that, manual testing has no future as we know it. And then he describes why, and we all know why, but not to spoil your enjoy, like your joy from reading an article, definitely go read it. But it just like I noticed you put a few of them like kinda one by one about manual testing, and Dmitry Stepanov then later says that the hottest software engineering job of the future might be manual QA. And I'm only half joking. So it was emotional roller coaster today. We just went from who cares, we don't need manual testers, to some people saying that it's going to be one of the hottest jobs. And he brought a point about how, when automation was added, when developers decided that we don't need testers, no, we need testers. And, we've been fighting about having a spot, us testers, like for so long. We've been hated, we've been praised. Now some might say that we don't need to exist, and it's scary to see that people who are like us, testers, saying that there is no future in this job, which I think it's crazy. That's why I agree with Dmitry that the hottest software engineer job of the future might be manual QA. And of course, if you think about manual QA as a person who, let's bring the flow, right? I open my Jira ticket, I read it, I go, I test. Maybe I open a test cases which I wrote two days ago, and all of that. No, we're not talking about that. We're talking about absolutely different thing. Oh, of course, AI is gonna take a lot of work away from us, but also a lot of that work I didn't want to do that anyway. So it's like I personally don't mind, outsourcing my work, which I'm a lazy person, I always say that, to AI, and dedicate myself to do something noble. So just review AI job work, and give instructions and all of that stuff. But one of the things which I really was thinking about it, I was like, okay, let's say I'm still in the field, because some people say I won't in 5 years, and I work in the company, and again, with all of the AI noise which is happening right now, and all of the new releases, I can imagine, it's very easy to imagine how in 5 years I open laptop, and I was even thinking like, oh, you know what, I will not even probably type at that point. I'll be just clicking a button and talking to it, and I'll be like, hey, I don't want to, like, I don't know, hey Butch, okay, I'll call my AI agent Butch. I'll be like, hey Butch, what's the update? And Butch goes and does all of this stuff, checks the pipeline, comes back, tells me. I can see it. And then reading the article, I was like, but you know what? Butch Butch is not human. Butch has extremely good, knowledge about everything what has happened in the world, all of the system and everything. But also, what I think is like, because everything is possible with AI, the race for creativity and having a unique product will be so good, because everybody will try to come up with something so unique. So I know that I'll have a job in 5 years. That I really imagined reading this article that I am one of those who, I have Butch telling me all of that. I'd be like, hey, did you add the tests for yesterday? And not go add them. But I do believe that I will still be needed as a tester with jazz hands.
So, I mean,
open application. Yeah.
Yeah.
open
where we're
application.
going. Sorry,
And
go ahead.
yeah, I'm finally saying what I was saying.
Do it. Do it.
You see, that's what AI does. Nobody asks about you. So
You're
and then I go.
absolutely correct.
Yeah,
Let me change that.
you're absolutely right. The user seems frustrated. And then I go and actually check while everything is helping me. I believe I will still need to go open the application and view it as a person and view it and see how it makes me and the keyword feel something what AI cannot do. You can laugh about it as much.
Butch can. Butch AI can.
Butch can. We don't know that, but my Butch can't. But again, the keyword, and this is what this article brought in my head. And the example Dmitry used was like, oh, but what if you just click refund twice and it returns 200? I was like, okay, yeah, I can still do that. Just have a good skill.
right.
But this thing is like how it makes me feel. And I think I will be getting paid in 5 years, not to write code. No, not to, like review PRs or anything like that. No, I will be paid as a tester with extensive experience in QA. And also as a person who understands humans and also who, has, again, experience of like how the application should look like. I believe I'll be getting paid exactly for that. The most that I go and I just review. I'll still try to find something and make sure it's working, obviously, but that's my take. I'm done. Thank you.
I like the take. I'll also just add the way you think about software and software testing is very product mind focused. So you tend to focus a lot on the usability, on is this actually solving the problem for the customer? Is it a good experience? And I think those are really good qualities that you can bake some of those into a skill, right? But I think when it comes down to taste, baking that down into a skill is kind of hard to do. Maybe it'll be done one day. I don't know. I want Sergei's skill, so I can just call / what does Sergei think about this against this application and get some output. But we've got to codify your thoughts and see if the AI interpretates
Well,
the words correctly.
it's gonna be 18 plus only AI agent because it's gonna be extremely explicit. Because when you ask me, but I thank you so much for. I'll take it as a compliment because I do look when I test. Very often the tickets sent back not because the AC is not met, not because there's a bug in it, just because I do have a suggestion which I believe will improve user experience. And I, again, as a QA, I take that part of my job extremely serious. And my proudest moment when I roll back features, that I will never forget that moment when I literally not convinced, I just proved product that what they created and what was developed while I was on vacation had to be returned back and hidden somewhere because it was garbage. Anyway,
I want to leave with one more thing. I do think folks being involved in software will definitely be a thing. I think that's going to look way different with the tools we have now. The ability to be able to spin up software and create good software very quickly, I think is going to lead into hyper customized software for you and for individuals. So it's possible, Sergei, you're testing someone's email client, some billionaire's email client, and giving that feedback. So when that billionaire goes to check their email, they're not like, slamming their mouse, clicking multiple times, getting frustrated. Yeah. Sergei's over here, bringing in the big bucks for the, very niche, specific, high quality things. Like that could be a thing. I could see that being the future.
That's actually, that's an interesting take.
You got to start asking around in Miami. Hey, what billionaires need some custom software?
I'm not talking to those people in Miami.
Okay, go
If
somewhere
you want to
else.
talk about those things, you go to New York or LA or maybe San Francisco, not in Miami. Miami is fake it till you make it all the way. So yeah, thank you, Dmitry. We do have Reddit posts. I love those, QA testing with Claude AI, and the user was I don't know if it was a complaint or report. What it is, I'm not sure, but a QA person started getting a lot of work, and they decided to use a lot of Claude for testing, and he said that he uses Claude to generate a test plan and test case based on the product. It can execute the test via automation, and I can do the test that cannot be automated unless I feed the. So basically, he explained what he was doing.
I think you missed the best part.
No, we get in there. And then he said, I'm thinking with Claude AI, is it possible to create a tool that can test multiple products at once? And then this is for slot games and crypto games testing. So I think he's located in Miami. That's he's somewhere right there, 3 miles away from me over the bridge. But I read it, I smiled, and I found it very, very cute, honestly. But I love the comments.
That's where the gold is.
Reddit comments are always trump the post itself. And somebody says I'm using for white box, but I love that one of the it seems like this was voted up and then downvoted. It starts, hold on, what do you mean that you ask Claude to make tests based on the product, as in you ask it to make test cases based on what the devs just implemented? And I was like, tell him. And then the person goes and be like, no, you should not be doing it. You actually should be looking at requirements, all of that. So this post, and I'm super happy that you linked it. I was smiling like crazy reading, but yeah, so people talk about that, how use it. And one of the users says, my strategy is manually testing the feature, coming up with test cases. Claude helps here as well. Then asking Claude Code to add new tests in our Playwright framework, which I was like, you know what? Well said. And it was done in one very long sentence, but well said, So again, as always, grateful for you to include it. Everything what you find in newsletter is always opinions, and we have a lot of opinions here as well, and this is the beauty of it. And I started saying it recently, and I'll just keep repeating it. Again, you don't need to agree, but reading those and reading somebody else's perspective will make you reflect on yourself and how you do things. And maybe you will learn something. Maybe you will just confirm that everything you're doing is already amazing. You have any articles, because I see the time, you have any articles you want to highlight, or I can just go and rant?
You go on. I mean, my take, I feel very strong about that.
Yeah.
And everything else, these are like articles that I enjoyed thinking about and reading this past week. So maybe I'll pick one, but you pick the next one.
Alim, I think we're approaching the death of test automation as we know it. I dropped it as well. His name is Alim, Aleem. So if you use the death of test automation as we know it. And so this is Alim's take on how automation is gonna be working. He made sure that he put a lot of spaces in between of every sentence, so it looks like a lot. But If you scroll all the way up, it just says the question isn't will AI replace testers? Maybe the better question is will testers who don't learn to work with AI be replaced by testers who do? Agree or disagree? And then, oh, yep, right there, I was like, I rarely check the comments, but I don't know why. I was like, okay, Mr. Obvious. And I scroll. And I see this that do you wanna tell the audience? Do you wanna tell the class?
Yeah. So here's the thing. Like this guy's approach basically says, write a test, automate it, maintain it forever. I mean, you should maintain it until it's no longer useful. So forever, I'd scratch that and just say maintain it for blank. But write a test and automate it. That's where like I get hung up, right? My approach is explore the app and understand the risks. So that is my testing. I'm not writing tests. If you're still writing tests, consider like what if you just explored the risks and then you automated the risk that you didn't want to ever change, right? You can do that module by module. You don't have to have test cases, people. It's 2026. That being said, explore the app, understand the risks, understand what areas I want to add some automation around. These are automated checks, and then maintain it. Of course, I don't know what happened with my T. It wanted to stay on the other line, I guess. That being said, I don't see this changing, right? I see this being a very good pattern. All of our unlocks with AI were actually being able to write deterministic test code. From the Aleem suggestion, what if it can look at these things? I actually think like all of these things are good for an AI to look at. I've actually built skills that will go pull this context. But here's where it's like, and decide what needs to be tested and then generate tests. Like, what if it missed something? What if there's 1,000 tests and 500 of them are low value? You don't even need to spend time automating them. From my exploration, because it's not risky, and you just use all your tokens automating low value stuff today, okay, and then because we're not maintaining them, that run's done. Maybe you get a report out of it, and then tomorrow you run the whole same thing, and your token spend is up. So maybe your company's like, people are utilizing it, AI is being adopted. The problem is like a lot of companies are moving past, are you utilizing AI? Like that's phase one. Like that's the first thing you measure. How many tokens are people using? Okay, let me put you on a spreadsheet and sort it from top to low and say, hey, these people are using AI. That's going to get you by so far for a few months as your company is adopting AI. But at some point, they shift from, all right, we're adopting AI. So people are using it. Great. Utilization. The second thing is like, are we producing outcomes? Right? Are we producing high quality stuff for these tokens? And if you're saying, hey, I burn some tokens on throwaway stuff every release or every day, that's just crazy to me. So that's my thought. I don't think that deterministic test automation is going away on a enterprise level application, especially that customers rely on. I think it is still very worth it to build a test automation framework, to maintain it forever, and utilize AI in all the steps of the journey for that, because the AI can write automation code a lot faster than us. Is it always as beautiful as Sergei's code? It's not going to be. But if you have some really good examples of what beautiful looks like in your skill file, in your template files, it'll actually write really good, pretty code like Sergei would.
I just tell my AI agents, be like me.
That needs to be we need to make a skill for that.
Yeah, just be like me. Don't. No, I don't want. Don't add me to be defined. No, have I ever used to be defined? Never, never. So don't come to me with like expect something to be defined. No, we don't do that. All right. Well, thank you. I knew that we needed to talk about it. I just somehow knew. Also, okay, we do have time. Shivani says everyone says vibe coding changed how we test software. It didn't. And she gave a nice summary that everyone, about what has changed. And she makes a good point. I really liked it. The requirements didn't change, only the speed of getting something changed. Expected now has to include what you assumed but never said it out loud. Great. When expected doesn't is not equal, that's not an AI limitation. It's just a bug, which is true also. And vibe coding didn't remove testing; it made untested assumptions ship faster. And I don't know. It just I like how she also created a visual for that. And yeah, I don't know. Just wanted to call it out that I liked it.
This makes me want to click the button.
I know. That was. This is why you need testers, because this is why you need testers. And Shivani is QA automation engineer. Come on, Shivani. But no, thank you. And about what
I have a question.
Yeah.
Just when it comes to like the term vibe coding, define vibe coding for me. How would you define it?
I don't know what it is. I really
Okay.
don't. I genuinely,
You don't know.
I genuinely don't know.
What would you guess? This would be great.
What it is like when somebody else helps you. That's it. A person, AI, anything anything like this. It just I've heard so many vibe coding words, and I'm very good at reading context. Like very good at getting context from what I like. Like I was learning English. I would hear a word I don't know, and I would just analyze everything around it and be like, oh, that word means horrible.
Okay, so this is a little different. So
It is.
vibe coding is a term that came out about a year and a half ago, would be my hunch. But it was the idea that you basically have an agent that's working. So this is not your autocomplete in Copilot. This is agent mode in Copilot. And you basically describe, hey, Copilot, hey, Claude, hey, Cursor, I want to build an app that does these things. Here's 14 things I want, 14 features I want. Go build it for me. And any code suggestions that it makes, you just turn on auto mode and you just vibe with it. You just, this is your weekend coding, like dangerously skip permissions. Just, go build it. And you come back when it's done. So the original vibe coding was, I'm just going to keep hitting enter and keep approving every single command, every single suggestion it makes without reading the code. All right. So that was vibe coding a year and a half ago. AI assisted coding is I'm going to think really hard about this problem and have AI write this code and read the code, do the code reviews, kind of like use AI assistance in your work. But I do think today, like that word can mean both at the moment, just in the world. So
I would assume I honestly assume vibe coding for me personally. Also, you add another person there, and you just let them to do whatever. Yes, that. When two people working on the same project and another one gets a permission to do anything as well.
I will say, like, vibe code, typically it is one person. Just it's not a two-person deal.
Not in my world.
You're not vibing coding. You're vibe coding.
You not in my world.
Well,
have you ever?
I'm just letting you know. I'm just letting you know the culture out there.
I don't care about your culture.
So insensitive, Sergei. All right.
No, it's always it's always been me. I just do my own way. That's how I do that. But with vibe coding, a lot of time has been freed up. And just want to call out that go ahead and read Nate Custer's article, because my favorite part about it, he gives some advices. He also just very good points, very good examples, very good very very good point of views. But what I like is oh my god, where is that now? I cannot find. But the whole idea was that when automation, came to be significant player in QA world. He was working on a project, and he helped the team to build everything, to add coverage and to start writing tests so fast. And then when he went to oh, here we go. Yes. A team I was coaching had cut the time a full regression took on their core mainframe system from 3 months to a week. We presented the success to the VP of development, and he asked me a question I wasn't prepared for. Great. What can we do with this extra time we have? And I was like, oh, that's a good one. That's a very good one. But again, article is more than just this. It just obviously this question is just a great food for thought for everybody, for literally not just AI and QA, for everybody. But go read it. Very interesting. Again, there are examples and advices, and just read them. You wanted to add something on that?
No, I thought that was a great take. There's some more information below. Also, shout out, we got a couple listeners, watchers. Ben Dowen, the full snack tester. If y'all don't know, he's off in the comments on LinkedIn. He said he's watching the live stream because AI is writing some code for me in the background. And Basant also said same. So this is the world which we live in. Get your coding agents rolling, turn on the live stream, and multitask.
Back to Nate's question. What do you do with that extra time?
That's right.
That's what it is. Also, go ahead and read AI assisted development means test first development. A very good, interesting take. And my favorite part was you have it. It's wait. Where is?
Tell me where to go find it.
It's Jens Oliver. Jens JEA. Yep.
Got it.
Yep. So this one, my favorite part of that was, I love when people fail and and they admit that the update he made after the article. So the article is very short. It's about creating tests before the development, and then he did say that test first is the correct term for development. But also, we're running out of time, so I want to point that there is an amazing article. Not that these are not. How to improve playwright test coverage using agent context by Rizel. I hope Rizel. Yes. That one is just great because it's everything what you want from an article: the visuals, the examples, the code, the plan, the output, input. Everything is there, and you for the first probably like 40%, maybe 50% of our article, I was like, where's playwright? She promised me playwright.
It's coming.
Where is it? And then when she brings playwright, it all makes so much sense. And again, article is amazing. It's basically how to improve playwright test coverage using agent context. That the real life
I think
example.
What's important here, right, is she is the developer. Right. So developers can 100% leverage these tools to generate tests and to maintain them. Right. So,
yes.
Again, scope of the app. Is this something that a business is going to use and pay thousands of dollars for? Like, probably not. Developer kind of like getting some verification, some checkpoints in place makes a lot of sense to get those feedback loops established. But if you're working with bigger systems that have more risk, right? That's really where you may want a dedicated tester to be managing some of this or asking these questions, or providing the platform to build on top of, rather than just here's 50 different Playwright test repos that are all different, are very hard to maintain. Maybe our AIs can maintain them easier. I don't know. But I also know we are at time.
That's why I want to there was one more, not even an article, but just a screenshot from LinkedIn from Philip, where Claude suggested when there were flaky tests, Claude said, recommend rerunning just the fails job rather than treating it as a code issue. And then, I mean, it reminds me of me sometimes. I do that. I was like, you know what? It actually acted like me. I would rerun first, and then we'll see. But I wanna end
Act
with
like
this.
me skill.
Act like
activated.
me. Exactly. Be as lazy as me as well. On this note, if you want to reread the newsletters, they're all collected in aiinqa.com. You go there, you find issue 24, 23, 22, 21, 20. It's a countdown. 19, 18, 17. I'm kidding, but it is time to say goodbye. And we hope you have a wonderful week. We'll see you next Monday for issue number 25.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.